By adding markers to an audio file, it makes it very easy to navigate through specific predefined points in the audio file. So for example, in this particular audio file that's almost 5 minutes long, we might want to navigate quickly through predefined points. So let's use markers to do that. We can see that we have 4 specific changes in this file at the beginning. So what I'm going to do is mark each one with a marker. So at the beginning of the file, I don't need to because I can always get to the beginning of the file by typing the home key on my computer keyboard. But what I'm going to do now is move my cursor to about right here in the timeline, and I'm going to drop a marker right there. And there's a couple of different ways to do that. You could go under the Insert tab and click on the Create Generic Marker button, but you can see that the shortcut for creating a generic marker is M. So that's a much faster way to do it. So I'm going to use that keyboard shortcut. I'm going to type M there. The next significant change in the file happens right there, so I'll type M. And then here's the third big change. Type M. And then go to the end of that and type M again. So now I've got these specific locations that I can navigate to very quickly and also just use them to look at the file and reference different parts of the audio file. But if you want to navigate through them, that's done not through the Insert tab, but through the View tab. And your buttons to move back and forth between the markers are right here. However, if you have to use these buttons to navigate through the markers, it's going to really slow you down. So let's use the shortcuts instead. You can see that the parentheses keys will take you through the previous and the next markers. So to illustrate that, I'm going to come down here to the audio file. I'm going to hold down Shift and type 9 and 0 on my top row of number buttons because those are the parentheses keys. So if I want to go back through the markers, I just simply click on the 9 key while holding down Shift. So using the parentheses shortcut will make navigating through the markers very easy. And let me tell you about one other type of marker, which is called a temporary marker. If I go under the Insert tab, you can see that right below the generic marker, which is yellow, there's a blue temporary marker, and it has a different keyboard shortcut. It is Q and T to add a temporary marker. And the difference between generic markers and temporary markers is that generic markers will get saved with the file. So when you save it, all of your markers will come back the next time you load the file. However, a temporary marker will go away even if you save the file. So when you reload the file, there won't be any temporary markers in the project. But let's add a temporary marker right here by typing Q and then T. So you can see that it adds a blue marker, which is the temporary marker, versus the yellow markers, which are generic markers. Now, another really popular feature to use with the markers is making selections. For example, if you were to double-click in between a set of 2 markers, it will make a selection between the markers. And then if you hold down the Shift key and double-click, it's going to add that selection to the previous selection between the markers. Then if you want to indicate what the marker actually is, you could give it a different name by right or control clicking on the marker itself and choosing Rename. So let's say that this is the verse, and let's say that this is the chorus. You can rename them there. You could also delete a marker by right or control clicking on it and choosing Delete. But there are even more powerful marker features under the marker window. So when I click on the marker window here at the top of the screen, you can see that I have some more options here. It shows me all the markers that I've made so far and what type of marker they are. I could insert new names here, like solo. I can see exactly where they are in time, and I can also give each marker a comment if I wanted to. And another nice thing is I can click on the play button right here next to each marker, and that will start playback from the position of the marker itself. If I wanted to quickly go to the solo, or to this marker, makes it really easy, and I'll press spacebar to stop. You'll also notice that each of the markers is given a number, so you can quickly navigate through the markers on your audio file simply by clicking the marker ID number. And just to let you know, you may have noticed in the Insert tab, there's a whole bunch of different markers. We're not going to talk about all of those today, but that's how to use temporary and generic markers. And next, let's talk about rendering an audio file.